Some months we did like 30, 50, 80 jobs. We keep on doing it to deliver. There was a client we worked on. He was giving back and back revision, right? The project lasted for like 3 to 6 months. One video. There's a job I'm working on that pays me 7 figures for just one video. In fact, there are people that have reached out to me and said, oh, I saw you guys have 30 orders in queue. Can you still make my project? There was a client that we had like, let's say 30 projects or 40 orders in queue. And I'll get some clients to wait for 2 months. They'll pay their order and wait for 2 months. And most of the people try to buy foreign accounts. So when I started on Fiverr, I felt like
Wagwan guys, welcome to the Freelance Spotlight. I am Sunday Abegunde, top-rated plus Upwork freelancer, and with me here I have an amazing freelancer from our brother platform. He has also attempted Upwork before, but he is super successful on Fiverr. And today he will be telling us about how to make money on Fiverr, the do's, the don'ts, the extra spice he's adding that is making him make the millions on Fiverr, and he's going to be teaching us some of those things, and he would be sharing his story, which is very important. How did he start his journey? Welcome, Christian Damiete.
Thank you, sir.
Please help me with the pronunciation of your name.
My name is pronounced as Damiete.
Damiete. So, Christian, how did you get started on Fiverr? Who introduced you to Fiverr? How did you get to know of Fiverr?
All right, good day, everyone. Depending on where you're joining us from or where you're watching from. My name is Christian Damiete, like he has introduced, and I'm a 2D animator and also the founder of Creative and Studios, which is one of the top 2D animation agencies on Fiverr. So to answer your question, how I got started or how I found out about Fiverr, that was back in 2021, January 2021. 2020 was when I learned animation. Then ending of that year, after COVID, I started doing my internship with a company, Simforest Limited. And in January 2021, I was just thinking, how can I make more money from animation? Or how do I work with these white guys out there, right? Because I know that they can pay me more than what my salary could pay me. Then I just did a quick Google research about how to make money online using animation. That was when I found Fiverr.com. And that same day, I created my Fiverr account, right? I just did all the setups or profiles, and I created a gig. Then I thought that something magical would just happen. But for one whole year, I didn't get a single client on Fiverr for one whole year. So I got my first client on Fiverr in February ending 2022. And that client came as a result of a referral. One of my colleagues at the office, who was also an animator and was already working on Fiverr. As of then, he had made like, let's say $2,000 or thereabouts on Fiverr. There was this client he was working with. He was tired of working with the clients. The client was from Spain. So the client gives him difficult times and the rest and doesn't pay too well. So one of those days I was speaking to him, and then he just said he was going to send me a project. Well, I think that was February. He then, asked me to send him my Fiverr profile, my gig, link. I sent to him. He sends to the client, and the client started discussing with me. I was speaking to him to how to price and all of those stuff. So the first gig I got was a $45 gig, and then dollar was like 500 naira on Payoneer, or 400 and something naira. But I was very excited because it was my first time of making money in dollars. Then I worked with that client, right? We worked for a very long time, and what I was intentional about was not what he was paying me, right? Because I could go on for some months without even making a withdrawal because the money wasn't too much, right? But then I was consistently getting reviews from that guy. Then I understood that getting reviews is very, very important. It's super important, and to lead to my success on that platform. So the guy was just giving me reviews, and from there, I started working with other people. And as of today, we've done over 800 projects with over 500 shiny 5-star reviews on Fiverr.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Hope we are learning from his story. The first thing I observed was that, his success on Fiverr platform is actually very fast. Like that means in the space of 2 years or 3 years or thereabout, he's able to grow from a 0 on Fiverr to an hero on Fiverr. And someone out there is still doubting whether to join maybe like a platform like Fiverr, Upwork, Tesneo, and a lot of platforms that we talk about here. So you can see that maybe like in the next 2 years, you might be that hero that will be on a platform like this, sharing your own story. Then another thing you should notice, then I have noticed with every top freelancer, I spoke with an ambassador at Upwork, he had the same issue. I realized that everybody have difficulty getting their first work. So if you're on Fiverr or any platform and you're finding it difficult, you've attempted for 1 week, for 1 month, and you're not able to get your first job, don't give up, because that is not unique to you. It can take you 6 months. It took Christian 1 whole year. Many people would have given up, but he didn't. That's amazing. So Christian, back to you. So what is your advice for somebody that is just creating a new Fiverr account and setting up their first gig?
So my advice to them would be start. You start by creating your gig, right? And do proper research. I've also had conversations with some Fiverr representatives, because on Fiverr, based on how far I've gotten on Fiverr, they assign me to a particular lady, right, that teaches me more about the platform, how to make sales, how to promote my gig, and all of those stuff. Right? One of the things I've learned is that we need to learn how to do proper research. If you have a gig on Fiverr that is not ranking, meaning that you don't have impressions and clicks, impressions are like numbers of people that see your gig, clicks are numbers of persons that watch your gig video or went through your profiles and stuff like that. You need to write your profile and your gig using SEO, which is search engine optimization. Most people out there, they feel like all you have to do is just to write description, just write, copy somebody's gig and paste there. It's not going to work. If you just want to copy people, mind you, there are already thousands of persons doing what you are doing. But the unique thing about your gig, that is what sets you apart from other people. So my advice to newbies is that go out and do proper research. Pay to learn. In fact, if you have to, pay to learn how to get started, how to write your gig profile, how to write your gig description. Learn relevant keywords, because it's just beyond. It's not all about putting your work out there. There's so much you need to know. SEO is very, very important. For you to be able to get your first gig on Fiverr, you need to know what people are actually looking for. If you're a graphic designer, what Fiverr suggests that you do when you want to create your gig, they say go on the search bar, right? Just try to use maybe incognito browser, or just use Fiverr accounts that is not, or just without signing into the Fiverr platform, just type maybe graphic design. You see some relevant keyword suggestions that Fiverr would highlight for you. When you are creating your gig, those are the things you need to use. Those are the words. For example, if you say graphic design, you're supposed to write something like, I would make an maybe awesome graphic design for you in 48 hours or stuff like that. Though they don't like people putting in time frame for delivery, like somebody will say I'll deliver graphic design in less than 2 hours. Those kind of things, people will not trust you, right? So you just need to start and just be patient. Patience, like what he said, as I shared my story, it took me 1 year to get my first gig. But there's somebody else that he's my classmate in school, right? He just looked at my profile. He learned so much. He studied my profile, and then he created his gig. He's not into animation. He's into script writing, right? He just checked my profile, imitated it, created his own. Do you know that within 1 month time, that guy got a gig? And that guy has been getting gigs regularly. So it's not like if you just join those platforms, it will take you longer period of time or it will take you shorter period of time. It just depends on you.
Yo, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, let me pick up from the note you ended. That's actually amazing. Someone like your guy who got his first job within a month is an exception, not the rule. My case particularly, I got my first job on Upwork the first week I joined. I don't even know people have difficulty getting first job, but over the years I knew it is. So like there's the principle and they are the exception. So like you might also, you watching us right now also might be that exception. But it's better for you to think it will take you 6 months and it takes you a month than for you to think it will take you a month and it's taking you 6 months. So you won't have that staying power to stay all day. Then I pick points on how he says like SEO. SEO is very important. SEO is very important when you do your Fiverr gig. Maybe I'm jotting things down so I can take things out like Josh Tufoni would say. Okay, so talking about mistakes like SEO and some of the things you've touched on, what are some common mistakes that you have seen new Fiverr freelancers make?
Okay, one of the common mistakes is, but I think I mentioned a bit of it earlier, copying other people's gig. I think I also made that mistake, right? Maybe when you want to create your gig, you have to look for your competitors. And for me, I choose the first five competitors, the first five persons on the Fiverr first page that are offering the same service as myself. So most times we want to imitate what they've written in their first page because we don't want to use our brains. We just want to do easy work, right? But that's one of the things that I see many people still do to date. How will five persons have the same similar profile? Is as though they are copying word for word, right? If somebody sees, for example, you are joining the platform, you just joined 1 month, and I'm a client, and then I see your profile, and I see somebody that has been on Fiverr for 5 years, and the two of you profiles look alike. That person has maybe 500 reviews, and you have maybe 3 or 4 reviews. Who am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the other person because I'll feel like you copied the other person. So people copying other people's gigs because they want to stand out or because they want to get jobs, it doesn't work out. You have to be unique. You have to bring your extra touch for you to be able to prosper on those platforms.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love the word on those platforms. It applies to you. It applies to LinkedIn. They call it unique selling point in the corporate world.
Yes.
A unique selling point. And he made recourse to it in his penultimate answer too. So I really love that. You are giving us an amazing session, Christian. And if you're watching us and you think Christian is actually doing a great job, please drop the thumbs up emoji in the comment section. And if you've not liked this video so far, please like. Okay, so let's proceed to the next question. Christian,
Yeah.
what are the most in-demand services on Fiverr right now? Like those niche that, okay, if you are not doing animation, that you would say, okay, this particular niche is something you can advise someone to go to. Though most of these niches and skills are actually very competitive. So what's your advice on that?
Okay, so one of those days I was teaching people freelancing. Then while I was on that class, I had to show them like the Fiverr platform and the rest. I checked for social media marketing. In fact, or like content creation on Fiverr, but social media marketing, like somebody that is able to, create content and give like lists of content that organizations and the rest can post and then manage their social media platforms. Yes, you see that content creation stuff. I checked like several persons. For example, you check one person, the person has 100 orders in queue. 100 orders in queue. Imagine that the person is charging $45 each, and that person is even charging way more than that. The person is charging like 100 and something dollars, and they have 100 orders in queue. Calculate 100 and let's just say calculate $100 times 100 orders in queue. They are making mad money. That's just for one person. I saw like different persons. Some persons 40 orders in queue, 30 orders in queue. The demand is high. That is why those guys have those orders in queue. And I've also from experience, I've seen that when somebody has orders in queue, more orders in queue, right? Potential buyers feel like that's the right person to go to.
That's invaluable.
Not just reviews. Yes, they feel like this person has something. For this person to have this number, in fact, there are people that have reached out to me and said, "Oh, I saw you guys have 30 orders in queue. Can you still make my project?" There was a time that we had like let's say 30 projects or 40 orders in queue, and I'll tell some clients to wait for 2 months. They'll place their order and wait for 2 months, right? So this is not just in animation, graphic designs too is a nice niche, right? Content creation, UI UX is a nice niche. I've not done much research on many of them, but the ones that I've seen on Fiverr, right? Like that's what I mentioned earlier, content creation. It has much traction. People are in need of it.
Okay, amazing, amazing. I think I love the fact that you touched on those skills, and that's actually amazing because your niche, the skills that you decide to sell on the freelance platform, can make or break you. So I love the fact that you touched on some of the niches because I was telling somebody at some point I was working on a project and I needed to hire what's it called, a video spokesperson, and I searched Fiverr. I found just a few like that I could hire. Then budget was not the issue. I was not the one paying. I was working on a video project that the client needed someone to do that for them. And like everybody you know, like I consult for people as regards Upwork and that. Most people are doing the same thing, Fiverr. Most people are doing writing, graphics design, and everybody doing that. The few people that do things that are a bit different. Even animation is not as competitive as graphic design. Graphic design is somewhat getting too generic.
Yes.
I know a guy that made $20,000 on Upwork within the space of 6 months. I think I will try to bring him on board. Yeah, so we have discussion like I'm discussing with Christian. $20,000 within the space of 6 months. He's doing I think no code, and that's amazing. Then these are skills that everyone can learn. If you want to learn a new skills, you don't already have a skills you are selling or you are considering changing, don't change to skills that although, like, irrespective of the skills, my skills is somewhat saturated, but some of us are somehow early birds and we've gotten some reputation before it becomes, although it has always been competitive, but before it becomes this competitive and Upwork become, okay, let me not speak about Upwork, we are focusing on Fiverr. I don't think, wait, let me ask you, Christian, has Fiverr become more competitive than it used to be? Are the policies still as they used to be? Or things have gotten more favorable on Fiverr? Let me ask you that.
So like you said something that I resonated with to answer your question. You said for most of us who are early birds, we are the ones that are competing at this point in time, right? It's favoring us because we are early birds. We have more reviews. So people that come on the platform, new buyers, right? They tend to trust us because we are there for longer. We have much reviews. So the competition keeps on increasing. In fact, personally, I have thousands of competitors on Fiverr. I have more than 1,000 competitors on Fiverr offering the same service. Some of them are offering the service with maybe lesser price points compared to what I'm charging. So the competition is much. It's not reducing because people are still hopping on the platform. Though now it has kind of become more difficult for people to join the platform, right? Because of the number of persons already, and the competition is crazy. In fact, for 2D animation, the time I started, my competition, I had like maybe 20,000 gigs doing animation service. That's a lot. Imagine you are competing with 20,000 persons. So the competition is still there. It's still
So
there.
that brings us back to what you said earlier, unique selling point. So it doesn't matter how much competition is in the market, you can still break your way into the market. Because I'm saying that because I know some people are contemplating maybe like, oh, I'm already on this platform, should I join Fiverr? Yes, you can. Because I'm very sure maybe like some 3 years ago, Christian too must be wondering like, oh, should I join Fiverr? There's a lot of it, but in spite of the fact that he saw over 20,000 gigs in his niche, he still joined the platform, and today is a good story we can share here. Okay, so Christian, I understand that maybe like at some point when you become more reputable, I have a Fiverr. I told you, I think I told you personally when we had a TikTok discussion that the Fiverr account I have presently is not my first Fiverr account. In my own case, I can't speak for you. In my own case, I tried many black art methods on Fiverr. I tried a lot of tricks, motor reclick, and a lot of things like that on Fiverr with my first Fiverr account. And so, like, what are the things that people do that are in that light? Not necessarily maybe like you do it, but things that people do, or even something you yourself have tried out, or someone has suggested to you now, or when you are still trying to get your first job.
Okay, yeah. So one of those things is that most times people ask you to buy reviews, which I do shun because I know it has its repercussion on Fiverr. If they find out, you are gone, right? They ban you, and you might not be able to even.
If they don't find out,
They will most likely find out if you buy reviews. They will most likely find out. So I do encourage people not to buy reviews. Just be patient. In fact, there are times, okay, if you want reviews on Fiverr, if for example you are a graphic designer and you want to work with maybe a client on LinkedIn, you can tell them, please, can you go on Fiverr and hire me? Right? I do prefer people to hire me on Fiverr. Do you know why? If you are to work with me outside of Fiverr, you have to pay me 100%, right? On Fiverr, you pay me 80% or maybe less than 80%. But you are going to leave a review. If you leave a review, somebody else will see that review and want to work with me. So most times people try to buy reviews, which is not a good thing to do. And most times people try to buy foreign accounts. So when I started on Fiverr, I felt like being a Nigerian was going to negatively impact me. I know that it still negatively impacts me somehow, but then I've learned that you can build yourself and be valuable and nobody will care about where you're from. I work with clients in the US, Canada. I work with clients in like 20% of countries or 30% of countries in the world. And they don't care that I'm in Nigeria. Most of them don't care that I'm in Nigeria. Right? So sometimes people try to buy foreign accounts. Yes, and some people want to work with me because I show my face on my account. I don't falsify anything. I use a Nigerian account. You see my logo, green, white, green, there on Fiverr. You see my name, not Christian. You see my name, Damiete, my local name. That's what I put there on Fiverr. And that's a unique selling point. I'm not answering Chris or whatever because I want to appeal to some persons. I put my names. In fact, some clients when we get on Zoom calls on Fiverr, they're like, please, can you teach me how to pronounce your name? Right? That's a unique selling point. I'm telling you, this is my traditional name. Exactly. Yes, if they ask me, where are you from? I say I'm from Nigeria. I'm based in Port Harcourt. I tell them, if you want to work with me, fine. Don't work with me. That's okay. Right? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, we are still going to get some rejections. In fact, the rejections you get in freelancing sometimes is more than the yes you receive. So just that's just how it is. So people try to use black art method to prosper on those platforms. There's somebody I know, he made over $100,000 on Fiverr, but because he was being funny, he was doing some things like he was using a fake location, he was using fake profile. Some clients will say, let them get on a Zoom call. He will start scaring away from it. So they just knew that he was fake. And then they banned his account. They reported his account and got banned. For me, I show my face on Zoom calls. I even love getting on Zoom calls with clients at night, early morning, whenever.
Zoom calls.
Right? I love getting on Zoom calls. Sometimes it even helps you to close the deal. Right? And I don't even have to change my intonation. I will speak with my Nigerian accent. So there's no need for you to try to be dicey or whatever. Just do your best to stand out, and then you just break even in those platforms.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the insight you just shared, though I have to push you deliberately to make you share that. Okay, so like even one of the reasons, like now I have my Upwork account, and my Upwork account is 100% Nigerian account. Yeah, for me, because I'm the coach, I'm aware of the good, the bad, the ugly technique. I learn everything. And like I just shared with you guys, on Fiverr, I did a lot of black art method, but in spite the whole black art method on my first Fiverr account, I did not make as much as I made on Upwork within 3 months with my real face, real personality, real profile, the real everything. So going real actually pays, like Christian just told us right about now. As regards jumping on meetings, clients love when they can speak to you in person. I used to say something. Sometimes people are even at the talking stage, although this is not a relationship. Like at that talking stage, when I'm still trying to toast the client, and the client is still saying, "Okay, I'm not doing," and I'm saying like, follow fine boy now. At that stage, like, if you are doing it via text, it will be difficult for you because it's easier for the client to also have that message, that chat with other people and other people on the platform. But my own to action
multiple times
is always, I always try to like tell the client, let's jump on the call, let's speak. Because once we jump on the call, I have more opportunity to convince you. And if you are using your real account, real profile, it might be difficult to do that. Oh, thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. Talking about Fiverr images and videos. I know like those actually attract buyers because like that's one of the bold things that the buyers see when scrolling. And how do you go about your videos and your image, your gig videos and image? Did you contract it out? Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, so you asked about like how do I go about my gig images, my gig videos and stuff like that. Okay, so for me, I do proper research. I go on the platform, look at what my competitors are offering, and then I try to do something better because that's how you stand out, right? Their prices might be more than mine, but then I want to make my videos and my images to be more appealing. So there's what we call thumbnails, right? Thumbnails are like hooks, right? You use it to attract buyers. So there was a time I looked on the platform. I would just post maybe just my animation characters and the rest, and just my animation videos, okay, on Fiverr. Then I did my research. I saw that everybody was doing that. I then said to myself, let me put my image or my gig video and my gig images, right? Then I'll put some characters around my normal human image, okay? Then I did that. All of a sudden, I started getting more jobs because that was different from what every other person was doing. That was totally different. There are some points too. I then said, instead of just putting just my image, let me get my camera, right? Shoot a picture, a video of myself talking to my clients like, hello, welcome to Creative House Studios. My name is Christian Damiete. I'm a 2D animator and we are here to bring your dream to life. Check out our video. Something like that. Then I start showing my work. Nobody else was doing that at that point in time in animation. So when I did that, I checked some months, 40 jobs in queue, 80 jobs in queue, right? That's a different thing I'm doing that nobody else is doing. Okay, I even tried to shoot it with like high quality cameras. Like I use an iPhone 15 Pro. I bought it specifically for content, right? And then I shoot. Even now, I even have like maybe 20 pictures I've shot that I want to use on my Fiverr account to do like different gigs and stuff like that. Even update my profile. My profile shows my face professionally, not just wearing one house clothes. I see people doing that. They'll just take a what's it called passport of themselves and post it. But most times my pictures now, I even call the photographer, my friend, paid him. He shoots me professional photos, which I'm going to use. Like now it's Christmas, I wouldn't have to update my videos, right? Put some Christmas stuff there to appeal to clients, right? So that is even done in my profile picture, my gig video, my gig images, right? So you just want to do proper research.
Yeah, I really love your idea of the Christmas, whatever. I think I'm going to steal it. Not steal it, I'm going to take it. That's an amazing idea. Then most of the things he's sharing here, whether I know a large proportion of my audience are Upwork people, and a lot of you guys would also try to jump on Fiverr, or some of you must have attempted Fiverr too at some point. Most of the things he's saying now, one, you can use it, you can go to Fiverr and give Fiverr a new shot. Then two, most of these things apply on Upwork. You can see me nodding my head because it resonates with some of the things I have also shared here about how your profile picture is important. I saw somebody who commented on one of my old videos saying, nobody cares about your profile picture. I don't like arguing with people. I just said, okay.
People care about it.
It matters. They call it perspective.
It matters.
To build the right.
Yes, now.
You need to build the right perspective for your prospective viewers. They are humans, and humans are moved by what they see. Then another thing is this, like, take it or leave it. Ladies stand a better chance than guys when it comes to like maybe perspective. And I understand I don't have any statistics for that, but then like I remember I told you I've used black hat methods before. I've tried using maybe like an account with a different face on Fiverr, and you can tell the difference. So if you're a lady watching this, you have a big advantage you don't know. So you should actually look at the most beautifully, I'm not sure my English is correct right now, as you possibly can on your profile picture. And for a guy to take professional picture, if your phone cannot do the job well, because one thing is for the gadget to be good, two, for a professional to take it. So if you go to the studio, they will charge you 3,000 naira, 2,000, 5,000, but it's worth it because you are going to make a lot of money because you make that decision. Thank you so much for giving us insightful value back to back to back to back. I'm really enjoying this session with you. How are you feeling about the session so far?
Okay. This is like the second time sharing this. I seldom share stuff like this free of charge.
I seldom share anything about Fiverr. I seldom share it free of charge. Most times, if I want to talk about Fiverr, I need to get paid to share it because I know how much people can generate from just this alone.
Yeah, so if you are getting this information, so please write a thank you in the comment section, appreciating Christian for sharing this with us free of charge. I used to tell you guys, like, when you want to learn some things like this, like freelancing, any way to make money, most people will not teach you how to make money for free. Most people will not teach you how to make money for free because one, it costs them to know that value they are sharing with them. Two, the time they are using to share that value with you cost them something. And that's why when you get resourceful information like what Christian is sharing with us here, you should actually appreciate it. And is very active on TikTok. Christian, what was your TikTok handle? So those who want to check you out.
I would have to check. I would have
You
to
don't know your
check it.
TikTok handle.
Let me check. I don't
So
know. I don't know. Okay, Christian underscore Damiete. That's it. Christian as Christian underscore Damiete.
So
I just
please,
checked
let's
it
give it
now.
a follow for as many of us as are on TikTok. Okay. Now then I think we have occasional conversations like that are not like formal like this on TikTok. So you can join us one of these days. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Christian, do you actually promote your Fiverr gigs outside of Fiverr? And not just your Fiverr gig, do you promote your service also outside your Fiverr platform?
Okay, so yes, most of the time I do promote my business, my animation gigs like on LinkedIn and stuff. So there was a time, like maybe last year, I was promoting my what's it called, my Fiverr gig on what's it called, LinkedIn, but people did not really care, right? But then I started posting some of my animation and my journey. There's a job I'm working on that pays me 7 figure for just one video. It came from LinkedIn. The client found me and without an interview or whatever, we just got on the Zoom call, agreed price, and then started working on the project. The client came from LinkedIn, and I've not even been active on LinkedIn, but because I have content on LinkedIn, right? That was just the CV for me. And then the person did research. If you search Christian Damiete, you would get my Fiverr gig links on Google. You get all my different social media handles, right? So that alone, building content, that's why I'm even creating content right now to create awareness about my brand. Now I'm just posting personal videos, right? And people are beginning to like it. Then soon I'll start posting my company's videos, right? I'm just being a personal brand now. But also, even on Fiverr, we pay for what we call gig promotion. I pay like $300, $200 to $300 every month to promote my gig on Fiverr. So that way it gives you more. I pay to Fiverr directly. It gives you more impression. It gives you an advantage over others. So if you pay for maybe sometimes I spend maybe $10 a day or maybe $5 a day on adverts, right, on Fiverr. And maybe let's say you have 20K impressions a week, which we have, like 20K impressions. So more people are seeing your gig. Not everybody will buy from you. So even if out of that 20K impressions, let's just say 1% work with you, you're already making money, right? So we do pay for promotion, we pay for adverts to make more people see us. Then it streamlines. Imagine sometimes you have like 40,000 views in a month, and then out of that 40,000 views, maybe you get like 20 or 30 jobs. Imagine for 40,000 to what, to 20. So the more people see you, right, the more opportunities you have, even if everybody doesn't work with you.
Amazing. The more people will see you, the more the chances that people would work with you. So that's actually very great. That's some good nuggets down there. Okay, so now I'm going to ask Christian the $1 billion question, and the answer can actually be $1 billion. What is the highest been made on Fiverr from a single gig? That means from a single client.
gig.
That way.
Okay, if I'm to say from a single client, I've made no, I've made thousands of dollars from a single client. Because do you mean like from a single gig or just one particular gig?
Okay, be convenient. Whichever one works for you.
Okay, so if you see, I made, there are some clients that we've made more than $10,000 from just one particular client, like maybe series of videos, right? There are some, like I mentioned, there's one I'm working with, even in Nigerian, pay me 1.2 million naira for a single video, right? I've also, even when I worked with John Moores University, right, I got paid like 7 figures. Even when I worked with John Hawkins, I still got paid 7 figures. So right, so there's so much. There's so much.
That's amazing. So now we're talking about money is smiling. Okay, so that's
That's the
amazing.
important part now.
Though, if you're also smiling while you watch this, you can drop a smile emoji in the comment section. So I'm going to ask him, I've asked him the highest. So what is the lowest amount you've earned from a single gig? Maybe the client canceled and just gave you a token of, take this $1. I'm just kidding. But something like that. What's the lowest? And let me even add this to it. Who is the most difficult? Tell us about the most difficult client you've worked with on Fiverr.
Right, so the least I worked on was $5. And then I just wanted reviews. I didn't care. I just wanted reviews. But that same client that paid me $5 later ended up paying me hundreds of dollars later on, right? So then we did 2 projects, $5 each, right? And then in terms of the hardest or the toughest client that worked with, there was a client we worked on. He was giving back and back revision, right? The project lasted for like 3 to 6 months. One video, 3 to 6 months. And the guy was patient, but yet he was frustrating us. The guy was patient, yet at the end of the day, he was still frustrating us. So yeah, so that's, but I don't really like working with Nigerians that more. Africans, especially. Because most
You
times,
too.
but the person I'm working with, the person I'm working with, I love working with her. She's a Nigerian, based in Nigeria, and I love working with her. Right? That's the only person that I've seen that does not give me stress. Not because she's paying me high, but because I love how she communicates with me. Like she gives me enough time to make her video. Right now she had me to make 2 videos for her. And then she's still giving me my space. Sometimes she will just ask what's the progress on the video? Not like the one that the person is asking me every single day. How far was, what are you, show me this, show me that. No. Even when she asked for some revisions and then I explained certain things to her, she let it go because she has a better understanding. But there are some people that, there's one, let me not mention this one before the person sees this. But there are some clients, some African clients that are really tough to work with.
Amazing. You know, like this is actually sad, but it's true. Like I think we Nigerians as clients, because I've also hired people, especially like not working with Nigerians work for me. Maybe like when I'm working with Nigerians off freelance platform. But if like I think 2 times that I have worked with Nigerians on Upwork. Is it twice on Upwork? No, the other one was on Fiverr. The time I worked with a Nigerian on Upwork, I did not have a good time. So I felt it was just a coincidence because I know Nigerians are great people and amazing people. I was working with Nigerians before I joined Upwork. But for some reason, I just had a bad experience with that Nigerian. And there was this time GigPay had this event and I was interviewing freelancers that came around. And most of them are also saying the same thing, that they had a bad experience working with a Nigerian. Wow. So this is beyond just me trying to defend my country. It is just the reality. And now hearing Christian who...
No, that's the reality.
Didn't see the video. Hearing Christian share that actually shows it's the reality, man. May God help us, Nigerians. Nigerians, repent. Okay, so talking about freelancing, like, you know, sometimes we say freelancing gives us this flexibility of time, but sometimes it can put you on your toes. I have stayed on a project for like a week stretch, a week stretch. Like I almost like, it's more like when I'm tired, I just sleep maybe for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm awake, I'm back to the project. When I'm tired, it was that intense for me. So like, what is the longest you've actually stayed awake to finish a Fiverr project?
I've stayed there are some days that I would have to sleep 4 hours just because I'm working on projects. Like that was like maybe at the beginning part of my freelance career, right? But then the thing, you know, sometimes we say that freelancing gives us the flexibility of time. It depends on how big you've grown in freelancing. The more bigger you grow, the less time you have. Should I tell you why? I don't animate most of the time now, but I'm still busy working on my freelance gig. Now I have people working with me. I have about 15 persons, animators working with me, and actively we deliver at least 30 videos every month, right? To clients. We just keep on working, it doesn't end. I'm on vacation, but I came here with my laptop. Normally, if you're on vacation, you are supposed to be chilling now. I've been on vacation for like 2 weeks, but I'm still working, right? So yeah, now I have time to relax, unwind because there are other people working. But if I'm the one doing all of that work, I will still be back in Port Harcourt working, right? So sometimes when you start making big money in freelancing and you are getting numerous gigs, right? Especially if you are somebody like me that runs an animation agency, you are almost working all the time. In fact, I wake up in the morning and I'm working. I don't just work when I get into my office. So far as I'm on my phone, I'm working. Like even as we're talking on this call, I'm getting new gigs, right? People are placing their orders. I'm even chatting with some clients that wants to place their order now, right? Some of them are even new clients. So the work doesn't end. Sometimes you will have to work stretch. In fact, sometimes you just work. It's as though every day we are living to just work. The money is good, right? In freelancing, if you work for a very long time, you start making good money. But then you just keep on working, working, and working. The reason why I even took this vacation is because I said, what is it? I've been working since January. Let me just stay for once and enjoy the money that I've worked for,
The reward
right?
of your labor.
Yes, exactly. But now they say the reward for hard work is more work, and that is what keeps on happening to us. So far as you are delivering good jobs, you keep on getting more. And sometimes people are like, don't accept, just reduce the numbers of jobs you accept now. I'm like, if you know my targets that I have for myself and my team, they are not going to say that to us. We are delivering, so we keep on accepting more. Some months we do like 30, 50, 80 jobs. You keep on doing it to deliver, right? And then you are still making good money at the end of the day. But then it has a price. Either your health, right? Because you work for long, you sit for long. The funny part is for me, I animate sitting down for a very long time. Then I get into my car and I drive for a very long time. I go back to sleep. So what time do we have to exercise?
Inactivity.
The funny part is I even paid for a gym class. I paid for a gym for 1 month and I did not attend one day.
I think I'm going to start
I
it.
paid for two.
So
I
I'm
paid for
collecting
two
people's
months.
subscription. I would come.
I paid for 2 months swimming lessons. I attended only 1 month, and the rest is there. So you are paying for the thing, but the time to even enjoy yourself, where is it?
Yeah,
That's the
honestly,
thing.
it is what it is. That's the reality of life. Because like you pray the jobs keep coming. Because if the jobs don't come, you would have all the time to sleep. But you don't want to. Nobody wants to be a sleeping man.
Yes.
You want to work and make money. But then we should balance
If you
it.
have less jobs, yeah, if you have less projects that you're working on, I used to feel bad. Once maybe let's say we have 30 jobs already, and then my team has delivered like 10. At that point, I start feeling worried because that 20 is not enough. The 20 is not enough. And then, this stuff about work-life balance, yeah, we have to put, that stuff in place. But then, if one actually desires to have extraordinary results, my friend, I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you, I'm being brutally honest. Work-life balance is not going to work for you. If you envision to make $1 million next year, work-life balance is not going to be an option for you because you just be working all the time to hit that goal. You just be working all the time.
Amazingly, I'm a big proponent of work-life balance. Actually, I don't even call it work-life balance, life-work balance. In the real sense of it, there's two things are not contradicting themselves. Like work and life, they are not. But then there's this way you can get engrossed. Work is a jealous lover. Work wants to take 100% of your time in a way. And I used to say this, like, we don't want to be like some of our fathers. You would see some men, they made a lot of money. They can buy Rolls Royce or not Rolls Royce, but they have a lot of money. Hey, my daughter walked in. They make a lot of money. Didi, just a minute. How are you?
All right.
We are going to meet mommy, eh? Sorry about that. So that's all of the things we told you about work-life balance. So like there's this way, some of our fathers actually give their 100% to work and other aspects of their life so far. That's not how God designed us. That's not what God intends for us. There should be a balance. Like that balance won't come naturally. You just have to be intentional. Like you just have to be intentional about it. So for me, work-life balance could mean it's not that you don't take the jobs, could mean getting more people on board so that you can free up your own time.
Exactly.
Like sometimes, instead of maybe like doing a $400 project myself, I would make the $400 for myself and I can do it. But sometimes I would give it out to somebody else to do it for me and monitor the person and just make adjustments. So I have my own time freedom. Maybe the project would have taken me maybe 3 days or 4 days. After 3 or 4 days, I have flexibility. I can do what I love. For example, this YouTube thing I do it, I love it. And I can have time for my family and do other things. You can still get the money and just put a balance to it. Okay, so I think I'm enjoying this conversation. So I'll be wrapping things up pretty soon. Okay, so talking about freelancers that make success, I know, Christian, you are one of them. And to God's glory, I'm one. And there are a couple of my bosses too that are watching right now. So can you tell us maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 freelancers, maybe in the Fiverr space specifically, that you respect and admire?
All right. So one of the freelancers I do admire is the person that gave me my first freelance gig. Right. His name is Goodman Animation on Fiverr. And now the funny thing about Fiverr is, do you know that I don't really care about my competitors? I don't care to know them. Right? It's only when I want to say, okay, if I'm getting more jobs, I don't bother to know them. Right? So it's only people on LinkedIn that I know of. Like for example, you, like when I felt my freelance stuff, I was like, oh, I want to be like this guy. I want to learn about Upwork. I want to, in fact, you're one of the persons that even motivated me in this whole freelancing stuff, though our niche was different, right? But personally, I've not seen big freelancers like maybe in Port Harcourt. Apart from the person I mentioned, he's also in Port Harcourt. I've not seen other big freelancers that are doing like something similar to what I'm doing or what you are doing. I've not really seen them. I know that there are Nigerians on Fiverr, but then if I even check on first page, the Nigerians that I see, myself and that other guy I spoke of, and the rest can be like people from Pakistan, India, and stuff. But for them, I don't really pay so much attention to them at all. I'm actually looking for, to see other people like myself who are doing amazing on Fiverr, right? That I can even learn from and even be friends with. So perhaps maybe they are Nigerians. I can be, even if we are competing on there, right? In reality, we can still be friends. We can still shake hands and laugh because it's the clients that determines if we are competing or not.
Yeah, you actually need that friendship. You actually need that friendship and collaboration. When it comes to collaboration these days, sometimes like I don't like reaching out to people for collaboration anymore. Or except maybe like in your case, we were talking on TikTok and I was like, oh, let's take this to YouTube. Because like we vibe well. Because sometimes when you approach people for collaboration, there's this way they look down or at you like maybe like you are begging them for help. I don't need your help. I just think, oh, I can give you value, you can give me value. And this also applies to maybe friendship. I interviewed someone in his house. I was at Nuru's house. We interviewed him, an expert vetted on Upwork. I was in his house and we had an amazing conversation. He was very humble. He gave us value and I really appreciate him. I know you might see this. Thumbs up, Idris, for the valuable time he spent with us. And I would always remember and appreciate this time that Christian is also spending with us. And Christian is definitely going to grow bigger than he presently is right now. Maybe like the next time I'll be having this kind of conversation with him on YouTube, maybe we'll be talking $1 billion and he'll be telling us of how he just bought his private jet. Because I know he's putting in a lot of work, building a lot of momentum. And that is great. I wish you all the best, brother. Thank you so much for joining joining us on the Freelance Spotlight today. Please let's celebrate him in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Bye.